we about to be a little delusional. Are you ready? If you're thinking, Brittany, what are you talking about? Don't worry, we're gonna go over it. Hi, my name is Brittany. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, we are working to live a joyous life and to do it boldly and to do it unapologetically to help us reach our goals. And these goals can range from financial goals, personal goals, family goals, whatever goals that you have for your life, we're going to do it and do it with some joy. So, living in delusion. That sounds kind of crazy. I know, but that's all right, because we are about to enter a phase where we are having delusional faith to help us reach our goals. And that sounds scary because that usually means that these goals are a little lofty, that they're a little far-fetched, that they're a little like out of reach, out of touch. But I am not feeding into the fear that because they're so big, because they're so grand, that I can't reach them. And because I am going to have a faith that's as small as a mustard seed, this faith is going to help me reach that goal. Not only am I having faith in myself that I'm going to be able to do it, I'm going to have faith in God. God has told me that we are living in a delusional faith era, because there's some goals that God has placed on my heart, has placed on hopefully your heart, because if you're watching this, I'm sure you're in the same position that I am in, that you do not know how you're going to get there without being a little delusional, without thinking that the steps that you're about to take might be far-fetched, but it's gonna happen. If you watched my last video, I shared that I have some big goals that I want to reach, and I'm not sharing them yet, but I will share them at some point. But these goals are so lofty that it's like, I can't even fathom it happening. But God placed on my heart and gave me a vision that it's gonna happen. And I am so, I was in awe that I'm like, really? You sure this is gonna happen? Like, this is what you placed in my heart? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, but you know I have X, Y, and Z that is going to hinder me from getting there. And he's like, yep, I know. But remember that God has the ability to change the impossible and turn it to the possible. He has the ability to move mountains if we just have faith. And this faith doesn't have to be big. It can be as small as the smallest seed, that mustard seed. But with that, if we put in the work, which means there might be some discipline, there might be some sacrifice, there might be some times where you have to tell people no, whoa, that is all right, because you have this end goal in mind, right? And so you know what the end goal is. And so now we're going to create these delusional stepping stones to help us get to this goal. So for my goal, I need to pay off debt. I can't reach this goal if I have the amount of debt that I have. And I got to a point where it was just this looming cloud over top of me, and it was like, I felt like I was thinking about it all the time. I was losing sleep. I would wake up in the morning and like think about, oh, this, that, and the other. And I realized that, like, stop being stagnant and make a plan. If you've been around with me for a minute, you know my motto: create the goal, make a plan, and execute. And so we're in the make a plan section of this goal. You already were given the goal. You already were given this vision. You already were given what you're supposed to do, your purpose, right? Now it is, how am I going to create the steps to get me to that goal? What I've realized is that I need to be really specific with the goal. You know, we always hear about the SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely, timely. And I also realized that I always create 50 million stepping stones to get me to the goal, where I'm like, I want to do X, Y, Z. I'm going to do this, that. And then I create this so much to go into this goal that I become overwhelmed. I become stressed, and then I'm just like, forget it. It's not going to happen. But we're not doing that, because while we are in this delusional mindset, we have to be strategic. So these are the steps that I'm taking for me to reach my delusional goal. The first one is to create 3 SMART goals. strategic goals for yourself to get you to that plan. I'm saying 3 because anything more than 3 seems like a lot to me. I don't know about you, but when I get to like 5 goals, I'm like, I got the first 2, and then by the time I'm getting to the 3rd one, I'm already burnt out. So there's going to be 3 goals to help me get to this end goal, this delusional goal. So the first goal is that, well, actually, even before that, let me back up a second. The first thing you have to do is just, for me, what I'm doing, because I have to have delusional faith, and delusional faith means I have to have faith as a mustard seed and trust that what God placed in my heart, it's going to happen, right? I'm hearing it, I'm believing that it's going to happen, and now I'm in the obeying stage. And now I have to first obey. And that's hard, because you might have gotten something placed in your heart and you're like, I'm not going to do it. It's not for me. You probably got the wrong person. I'm too scared. I'm too, whatever the excuses are. But to be delusional, you have to be obedient. And that is hard. Because you can believe, okay, I got it. But it's the obeying part that I have struggled with, and which has really created mess for me because I haven't been obedient. Got it. So the obedience is number 1, and praying to help with that obedience, I think, is important. The next thing is then asking God to give you those strategic goals, the stepping stones to help you to get to that goal. So for me, I'll walk you through my process. So my 3 goals that I want to do to get me to my delusional goal is, I can't pay off more debt that I have. I can't pay down my debt at a faster rate if I stay the way I am with just one income, which means I had to apply to some jobs. Did I want to? No. Did I want to be able to stay at home and not work? Yes. Is that going to be realistic to help me get to my goal? No. So I started applying to jobs. Part-time, in-person, full-time. I was on Indeed like nobody's business. I was crafting my resume, cover letter. And it's funny because some of the jobs that I was posting to, I would send it to my sister and she'd be like, you are overly qualified for this. And I'm like, I don't even care. At this point, I just need a job that brings in money. Again, being delusional and doing the things that like, oh, I never thought I would be working at X if you would have asked me 5 years ago, but am I applying to today? Sure am. Sign me up. Number 1, I applied to the jobs, and within 2 weeks of me making the decision that I was going to work part-time, I already had 2 interviews, was offered 2 positions, and a position opened up for me that I can work from home. It's part-time, flexible hours, godsend. Again, because I'm walking in obedience from what God placed in my heart, He already is going to provide and order all the steps. I just need to follow, right? That was number 1. Number 2 is God told me that you are going to be using your story and your journey to get to this delusional goal and share it with other people. I'm like, great. Like, can I just do this by myself? And then I share it at the end. He's like, no, because I need to show people that I am powerful. And when I place something in your heart and you listen, you hear, believe, and you obey, that it comes to pass, right? It might not come to pass in the time frame that you might envision, but it's going to come to pass in some way, shape, or form because God placed that in your heart. And so, okay, what do? I came back home, right? So started posting on TikTok, which is new work to me, being more consistent. I picked back up on my YouTube channel, which has been amazing already. I said in my last video that it doesn't matter if I post every week, every month, every 6 months. Coming to YouTube is home. I feel at home. I have a community here. And God was like, I've already laid the foundation for you with social media. You already have a community. So use the community that you already have and do what I told you to do. I'm like, oh, okay. And realize that like the progress that I think I want to see might not happen in the time frame that I want, right? Like I thought I was going to be posting on TikTok and I'm like, I'm going to get so many views and so many people are going to watch this, and probably here on YouTube too. I'm like, I have this many followers. Everyone's going to watch my videos. And it's like, no, girl, you have to start from scratch because you've been checked out for some time. But I know that there's a reason why God had already laid the foundation for me to have a platform, because he wants me to share this story and journey with y'all. All right, that's the second thing. So get more income, share my story on social media are the top two things. I haven't identified yet my third goal to help me to get to this delusional goal, because I think those first two ones are like a lot and it's going to take me a little bit of time. And once I think I get a good handle on these two goals, again, I just started my part-time job last week. I just started posting on TikTok consistently maybe 2 weeks ago. This is only my second video back onto YouTube. And so I'm like, let me get my bearings first for this, and then I can work on my third goal. But if you already have a third goal, stepping stone to get you towards your goal, perfect. I'm sure mine will come soon, but I think right now my main focus is on those two. And what I want is for you to see what that looks like in real life with a real person. Because you always hear the stories of like, this person paid off this amount of debt, this person started this business, this person did this and that and this and that, but you only see the end result. I want to show you what it looks like to be delusional from the jump, to walk through all of the process of going through it and then getting the reward at the end, which is what God placed in my heart. Something I'm going to share with you, and it's not anytime soon. I'm thinking this is like years from now, but God placed in my heart that I'm going to write a book about my story in some way, shape, or form. I don't know what that looks like, but God's like, I want you to write a story. I want you to write a book. Because I love to read. I've been reading books about personal finance, faith, all this other stuff. And God's like, okay, at some point you're going to write one. Who knows when it's going to happen, but I feel it in my bones and I already have ideas of what it's going to look like. But for me right now, those two goals, stepping stones, are going to help me get to my goal. And I've already did the first one, which is awesome. Now I'm working on the second one, and you're going to help me because social media keeps me consistent, keeps me accountable, and your comments, your feedback always helps me. So what is your delusional goal? What was placed on your heart that you have to do? And even though it seems so grand, so big, so lofty, that you are going to be delusional and work to get towards that goal. It seems impossible, but you are going to have faith that it's going to happen for you. What is that for you? And I want you to share that with me so that way I can be your cheerleader, because I'm going to need cheerleaders and people motivating me along the way. And I know that's always something that I love to give to other people, to be your cheerleader. So share with me what your delusional goal is, when you would like to achieve it. For my goal, I would like to achieve it by next summer, probably next spring. I guess I do have, as I'm talking through it, I guess I do have the third goal, the third stepping stone, and that is to pay off all of our debt by the end of the summer. So by like September 21st, like I'm giving myself to actually do like the last day of summer. I want to pay off that debt, of credit card debt, and that's like $15,000 worth of credit card debt, which is, I know it sounds like a lot, but I need that debt gone so I can focus on the next debts that I have. let's not talk about them, which I'm going to talk about them anyway because I always give updates. But I guess that is my third goal. And what I want to also share is like, those are your 3 goals right now. Once I feel like the goal that I set, that first goal, since I already got the part-time job, okay, then I can maybe add another goal to have to replace that goal. So it's a evolving process, but what I want you to do is know that there's stepping stones that are going to help you get to that goal. And so being strategic and smart about what those goals are is going to be helpful. So let's be delusional. Let's do this together. Let's show that what seems impossible can be so attainable and so realistic. And at the end of the day, it'll be like, I don't know how that happened. And for me, I will be able to say it's because I heard what God had placed in my heart. I believed that and trusted God and had faith in God that it was going to happen. And I obeyed and I was obedient in the things that God had told me to do. And I already know I'm just going to be rejoicing. We're going to be doing a praise shout at the end of the day. I can't wait. So have a good rest of your day. If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you like and comment. Have an awesome day. Live a joyous life and do it boldly. See ya. Bye-bye.